Perfect, perfect. Okay then, welcome, welcome. Happy New Year to you all. And I'm not sure how I feel about New Year. I feel a bit sort of ambiguous about it because I think it's a very kind of noisy time of year where there's a lot we're being bombarded with. And I actually wrote this last year and I read it again. And I thought it's worth a reminder. It's worth a reminder. And it was all prompted by a quote by the author Virginia Woolf. It's one of her books. And she wrote in the book, no need to hurry, no need to sparkle, no need to be anybody but oneself. And so I wrote this after reading that. I find that it's always the beginning of a new year which calls to mind Virginia Woolf's assertion that there's no need to hurry, no need to sparkle, no need to be anybody but oneself. The online world can become particularly clamorous in January. It's not just the messages of new year, new diet, new you, and exercise devotion, but also the insidious feeling that everyone else is forging ahead, filling notebook after notebook with amazing plans for productivity and success in the months ahead. It's easy to be overwhelmed by the pressure to hurry and to sparkle at a time when really all many of us want to do is hibernate. It's not that I don't welcome the fresh start and a clean page of a new year. I love the promise of January, the chance to begin again, to learn new things, to plan and to dream. I do have hopes and intentions for the year ahead, one of which is to return to the space so long neglected, to reclaim it and to reshape it for the stories that I long to tell you. I'm just looking to go gently in these first few weeks and months, to remember that I'm allowed to take time. This may not be the moment to sparkle and shine, which will surely happen for each of us, but only when the circumstances are right. I'm seeking the courage to feel that I'm already good enough, that there's no need, in fact, there's no way for me to be anybody but myself. So we're not going to do any kind of great back at it killer yoga class today. We're going to take our time. There's no hurry, there's no rush. We're just going to take it nice and easy and make our way into 2024 nice and softly and gently. So let's come down to lie on our backs this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, whenever you're choosing to do this practice. All will be well. Bring your knees in towards your chest when you get there. Give them a little hug, give them a little squeeze. Maybe have a gentle rock from side to side, just burrowing your back body down into the mat there. And then gently releasing the feet to the floor. Maybe your back feels a little tight today. Maybe you've been doing a lot of sitting around over the Christmas period and your back feels a little tight, in which case maybe keep your knees bent, walk your feet wider and let your knees rest against each other. Or you can stretch the legs out in front of you, whatever feels most comfortable. Just place the hands wherever feels natural for you, maybe chest on the belly if you need that connection with your breath, or if you're feeling a little bit discombobulated. Maybe just down by the sides of the body, perhaps turning the palms up towards the sky so the chest and the shoulders can release and open. Closing down the eyes for a moment. Maybe this is the first time you've stretched, you've been back to your yoga mat for a few weeks, period of time. So really working with your body today. Again, there's no need to hurry. Tight muscles, feel a little sore, reluctant to stretch, then give them time. Maybe you've been very busy over this Christmas period and routines have been altered, visitors have come and gone, food has been shared, memories have been made. Maybe you're looking forward to returning to a little bit of normalcy and routine now. So welcoming in that routine of our practice, coming back to our mats this morning. And you might want to set almost the yogic equivalent of a resolution called a sankalpa, or an intention perhaps for your practice ahead. It might be taking some ideas from that quote by Virginia Woolf, allowing the practice to unfold, to take your time, to slow things down, not to rush or hurry, to be patient. with yourself, with your body. Whatever it is that just kind of bubbles up, maybe just holding that in your mind throughout your practice today. Here he comes, our fairy yoga friend coming to join us. And when you're ready, let's stretch out the arms and the legs and give ourselves a delicious full body stretch there. With the arms and legs just reached out forwards and back. Start to turn your ankles and your wrists there, beginning to introduce some movement into the body. Oh, that feels good already. And circling the wrists and the ankles one way, getting the fingers moving, toes a wiggle. And then just change direction, take the hands and the feet round the opposite way. And then just come back to that full body stretch, really enjoying that. Maybe point the toes, arching the back a little bit. And then lowering the arms down by the side of the body. Walk your feet in towards you, about hip width apart. You might need to pick up your hips to realign your pelvis. Pressing down through the feet. Let's start to roll up through the spine, coming up into our little shoulder bridge, stopping at whatever height feels right for you today. Let's take a nice inhale at the top. And as you exhale, roll your spine back down. So as we inhale, you push into your feet, you lift your hips up towards the ceiling, keeping the feet flat to the floor and the arms down by the side of you. And then exhale, release. Lovely. Let's do that one more time. So inhale as you lift up, 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 up. And exhale, taking your time to roll your way down through the spine. And when you get there this next time, give your right knee a nice hug in towards your chest. You can hold in front or behind the knee as you squeeze that knee in. Just soften into the back of the shoulders there. And then just with one hand, start to circle that knee around. So just using your right hand on your right knee to guide the knee round in a circle, trying to keep the left knee nice and still there. First one way and then change direction. Milu is funny. He's been asleep all morning and now he's heard our yogic tones. He's come to join us, bringing that knee in towards the chest, giving that knee a nice hug before you change the hold around the back of the thigh this time as you take the leg up into a nice hamstring stretch, maybe keeping a soft bend in the knee. Just bring some little movement into your ankle there, maybe pointing and flexing this time. Again, relaxing into your upper back, chin drawn down towards your chest, and then pushing that heel up towards the sky, putting the toes towards the face. Just make sure you've not hoiked your hips up off the mat, that you've still got that heaviness through the back of the pelvis. Lovely. And then bring that foot all the way back down. Arms down by the side of the body. We're going to push the hips up into our shoulder bridge. Now, keeping that shoulder bridge, really root down into that left foot as you bring that right knee up to your chest and extend that right leg up to the sky, flexing the foot. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower the right leg until the knees are level. And then inhale, point the toe, take the leg all the way back. And exhale, flex foot. Bring that leg down until the knees are level. Lovely. Twice more. So really waking up through that left side. Lower, lower. So just stretching the leg away from you. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale, pushing the heel away from you. We'll take the leg up towards the sky. One last time. Keep the leg pointing to the sky as you roll your hips all the way back down to the floor. Then crossing right ankle over left knee. Let's come into a little recline pitch and giving those hips a bit of love. Maybe just starting today by pressing the knee away from you, rocking the hips from side to side as you just notice how the hips are feeling. Maybe they're feeling a little stiff. Again, maybe you have been sitting around a little bit over Christmas, enjoying the rest. If you want more, you can lift yourself up so you can just hold on around the back of that left thigh, drawing the legs in towards you. A little flex in that right foot. You might want to continue the movement, rocking side to side as you gently ease that knee away from you, stretching into the hips. Lovely. Coming back to center, bringing that left foot back down to the floor. This time we'll cross right leg tightly over left leg, bringing the arms out level with your shoulders. Just nudge your hips over to the right. And we'll tip both knees over to the left side. Maybe using that left hand as a gentle pressure, very gentle, to bring those knees down towards the floor a little more. You can turn your gaze over that right arm if that feels good, bringing the stretch into your neck. Just take a couple of breaths there into that twist. Oh, that feels nice to move again, doesn't it? And then rolling back onto your back. Let's bring your feet underneath you and just line your pelvis up so you're back on the middle of your mat. And then hug your left knee up and in towards the chest. Just pause there for a moment as again you drop the shoulders away from the ears, tuck the chin in and down. And we'll start with those little knee circles. Left hand guiding the knee round this time. Just in one way. Right knee staying nice and still as you take the knee round one way and then swapping directions, going around the opposite way. You might notice one hip feels a little different to the other this morning. And then as you bring that knee in towards the chest, holding on around the back of the thigh, try and keep your thigh close towards you as you take that leg up towards the ceiling. Into your hamstring stretch, little pointing and flexing through the ankle joint there so you can stretch in the front and the back of the ankle. Yeah. Oh, Milu's happy, you can hear him purring. And then pulling the toes down towards the face. See if you can stretch and open the back of that left leg a little more, dropping the weight into the back of the hip so you've not hoiked your bottom off the floor there. And then we'll bring the feet back down underneath you, ready for that little shoulder bridge. So arms down by the side of you. Now push the hips up towards the sky. This time really root into your right foot. Really try and keep the pelvis nice and straight as you bring that left knee in and then extend the leg up towards the ceiling, flexing the foot. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, point the toes as you lower that foot all the way down, knees are level. And then inhale, come all the way up. Flex foot, lower all the way down, just till the knees are level. And then pointed toes, inhale. And exhale, pushing the heel away. Keep pressing into that right foot as you take the leg up, pause. And then slowly keep the leg up towards the ceiling as you roll the hips down to the floor. Crossing left ankle over right knee. We'll try that little recline pigeon on the other side. So again, there's no hurry. So maybe you start here, just pushing the knee away from you. And then if it feels good and you want more, you can hold on around the back of that right thigh. Just keep the left foot flexed to protect the joints there. As you bring that shin in towards you, see where you can soften, where you can let go. Oh, Milu, all over the shop this morning. Having his tail in my face. Oh dear, these furry friends. And then let's bring that right foot down. Crossing left knee over right knee. See if you can squeeze the thighs together so there's no daylight between the legs, bringing the arms out to the side. I'm going to just nudge my hips to the left and tip the knees over to the right, maybe using your right hand this time. Gazing over that left arm if it feels good for the neck. Just take a couple of breaths there into wherever you can feel that twist, that rotation into the spine this morning. Yeah, really. Very happy we're back today, aren't you? Rolling onto your back, uncrossing everything as you give the knees a squeeze in towards your chest. As you hug those knees in, bring the shoulders away from the ears and see if you can roll yourself into a little ball, bringing your nose up towards your knees, softening the shoulders, and then lower the head, lower the shoulders, holding on around the backs of the legs, cross the ankles, and roll your way up to seated. I'm going to cross right leg in front of left leg, but if you don't want to sit in a cross leg position, you can just stretch the legs out in front of you. We just bring the hands just down gently in front of you for a moment, relaxing the shoulders. We're going to float the arms up to whatever height feels comfortable, maybe up towards the sky, really keeping the wrists soft, and then very gently, palms away from you as you bring the hands all the way down. So as you inhale, you float the arms up, keeping that softness in the shoulders. And then as you exhale, come all the way down. So you're painting the wall in front of you. Let's do that one more time. Softness in the wrists, softness in the elbows. And lovely. This time just the right arm. We're going to float up. And as you exhale, just open the arm out to the side and maybe take a little turn towards the back of the room and then inhaling up. And exhaling as you bring the arm down. Same arm, so right arm floats up, inhale. We take that little twist, so you open up through the arm, maybe looking at the wall behind you, and then inhale. And exhale. This time we're going to hold the twist, so we're going to take the arm up as you inhale. And as you exhale, bringing the fingertips just down behind that right hip. Seeing if you can just press the floor away Taking a nice breath in. As you breathe out, maybe you can turn a little bit more deeply into that twist to the right. And closing down the eyes maybe here as you again find that nice rotation through the spine. Nice, coming all the way back through center. So we've got our right leg in front. Remember that as you bring both hands behind you. And just lean into your hands so you can bring both feet to the floor in front of you. Hold on around the back of your knees. Lifting up nice and tall through the chest. We're going to lift that right shin until the shin is parallel to the floor. And then bring it all the way down. And then other side, we'll take an inhale as we lift. And exhale, lovely. One more. Beautiful. Now you can stay there holding behind the legs, or bring the fingertips down and opposite arm to leg reaches up as you inhale. And then exhale, tap down. Try and keep that length through the spine as you take the leg up. One more with the right shin and the left arm. So we're trying not to sink back. You're working through the core, working through those postural muscles. Let's do one more. And coming all the way down. And this time we'll cross left leg in front of right leg. Have you had enough now, Milu? That's it. He's gone now. Coming into that cross legged, this time left leg in front of right leg. So this time the left arm, we're going to reach up as you inhale. Take that little twist. So again, that softness as you open to the left. And then inhale, reaching back up. And exhale, coming down. We'll do that twice more. So just exploring how the other side of the body feels, how the shoulder feels, stretching into the chest. This next time we'll float the arm up and bringing the fingertips down behind that left hip. You can do whatever with that right hand. You can keep it resting on your shin, or you can bring it directly in front of you for a little bit more support. Let's take a nice deep breath in as you lengthen up through the spine. And as you exhale, maybe turning over that back shoulder, sitting up nice and tall, or enjoying that nice rinse out through the spine. And then coming all the way back through center. Both hands behind you. I'll just turn sideways on this time. So feet in front of us, hip width apart. We'll hold on around the backs of the legs. So option one, you can just lift the shins. Option two, opposite arm and shin lifts. Or this time, as you inhale, we lift the arms. And as you exhale, bring the arms down and lift both shins up, coming into a little supported boat. So inhale, we lift up. And exhale, lower the arms and we lift the shins. So you can keep the knees bent. Or these next two, maybe you can straighten the legs in front of you if that feels good. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale, and just holding there now. Maybe the knees bent or extended. You can keep the hands down, or you can reach the arms out in front of you. Sitting up nice and tall, saying hello to your abs. Lovely. Let's see if we can hold just for 3, for 2, and for 1. Bringing the feet down, rounding yourself over your knees. Give yourself a nice big hug. Finding your way round onto all fours, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips as you find that nice strong tabletop position. So take a moment to place those hands, spreading the fingers nice and wide, and pressing into the shins and the tops of the feet as you lengthen out through the crown of the head, and just feel that nice sturdiness and stability through that pose before we start to move into our cat and our cow. So beginning to dip the belly, allow the tailbone to tilt up and really lengthen the chest forwards. Imagine you want to pull your wrist back towards your knees. As you pull the chest forwards, we'll take an inhale. And then exhale, we push the floor away as you spread the shoulders, rounding the back. Inhale, pulling the chest forwards. So we're not throwing the head wildly back here. We're keeping a little bit of length through the neck, so we're not scrunching those little vertebrae. Do that twice more. So inhaling, heart pulls forwards, tailbone tilts up. And then exhaling, pushing everything into the mat to spread the shoulders. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale, rounding up, really pulling belly button to spine, and then finding that nice tabletop position again. Shifting away into your left knee. Then take the right leg back behind you without rolling the hips to the side, so both hip points are pointing to the floor. You're going to bring that right knee to your right elbow, so the spine stays long, neck stays long, and then we extend the leg all the way back. And then this time, knee to chest, nose to knee. Now we round the back, pushing the floor away. So inhale, extend the leg back. And exhale, knee to right elbow. So a little shift of the weight forwards. Inhale, extend the leg back. And then exhale, rounding like an angry cat. Let's do that twice more. Inhale. Keeping the spine long, just bring that knee towards your elbow. Same knee, same elbow. Inhale. And exhale. I've forgotten how many we've done. We'll do one more. All that talking. Lovely. We'll extend the leg one last time, bringing the knee towards your nose. And then this time, take the leg all the way back. See if you can swing or step it to the outside of your right hand, to the top of the mat. Maybe wiggle that left knee back a little bit. You can come up onto your fingertips or fists as you let your hips sink and pull the chest forwards. Keep that knee hugging in towards your upper arm. We'll take an inhale there. And as we exhale, start to move the hips back as we stretch out through the hamstring. So as we inhale, we let the chest come forwards and the hips sink. And exhale, rocking back. Lovely. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to rock forwards. And this time as we exhale, let's just pause there for a moment, pulling the hips back, pulling the toes towards your face as you give the hamstrings a nice stretch. You can round the back a little bit here, looking towards the back of your mat if that feels nice, or look forwards, whatever feels the most natural for your neck. And then shifting the weight forwards. Going to walk that right foot in between your hands, so it's right in the middle of the mat. Left hand stays on the floor. We're going to circle that right arm forwards and up, and then reaching to the back of your mat, continuing to circle all the way down. So inhaling forwards and up, and exhaling, reaching to the back of the mat. Lovely. One more time. Big reach. And exhale. Lovely. Bringing both hands down. Let's see if we can come back onto all fours. Taking an inhale in your tabletop. This time as you exhale, hips to heels, take a child pose and just creep your fingertips away from you. See if you can lift up onto the tips of your fingers and thumbs. And pulling your hips back towards your heels, stretching out through the side body. Just take a couple of nice deep breaths there. And there's no rush to get back into a fast, heated physical practice. Let's just ease our way into this new year with a softness and grace. Coming back onto all fours, we'll try that little ditty on the other side. So sliding the left leg back and then lifting it hip height, again without opening the hips. We'll take an inhale. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Spine is long. Inhale, extend. And this time, exhale, knee to chest, nose to knee. Now we round. Inhale, extend. So we're looking to the top of the mat. Keep the gaze forwards as your knee comes to your elbow. And then inhale, extend. And exhale to round. Lovely. So twice more. So we're trying to keep that length through the spine in that first little movement as you tap the knee towards your elbow. Maybe you can get it to touch underneath you. So last time, inhaling, extending, and exhaling, knee to elbow. Last time to do that little rounding, closing the gap between your nose and your knee. Then extend the leg all the way back. Take a big step, or help it to the outside of your left hand this time. Again, you might want to wiggle that right knee back. Coming up onto your fingertips maybe, or your fists, allow your chest to sink, your hips to sink, your chest to fall forwards. We'll take an inhale. And then exhale, we'll move the hips back, pulling the toes to your face. So rocking between those two movements, nice hip stretch as you inhale, and a nice hamstring stretch. Lovely. One more time. So you can keep a nice soft bend in that left knee if that feels better for your hamstrings today. We're just pausing there now with the legs straight, the hips back. Again, you can take the gaze forwards or just round the back gently. Just pulling the toes towards your face when you feel that stretch in the hamstring. Oh, I certainly can. And then bending that front knee so you can walk or help that left foot between your hands now to the middle of the mat. Right hand on the floor. So this time, left arm circles forwards and up. And then all the way back and down. Lovely. Inhaling forwards and up. Exhale to reach to the back of the mat. Lovely. One more full circle there. Opening up through the chest and the shoulder. Bringing both hands down underneath you. And this time coming back onto all fours. Before we take that child pose, let's tuck our toes under this time, sending your hips back towards your heels. Maybe just rocking the hips from side to side there, so you get a nice massage across the balls of the feet there. Now keeping the toes tucked, start to walk your hands back towards your knees. And maybe you just want to stay here today, keeping the weight that's fairly even between your hands and your feet, or start to pick up your knees and come into a little squat at the back of the mat. So again, you can keep your fingertips on the floor for stability, or maybe try bringing one hand and then both hands to your knees and see if you can push the knees away from you as you lift your chest. Maybe you stay there, there's no hurry, or perhaps have a little explore. Can you bring your hands to your heart? Keep pressing into the balls of the feet, keep lengthening up through the spine. Lovely. Then bringing both hands down to the floor, pushing the hips up to the sky, coming into your forward fold there. Allow the body to melt over the legs. So just start to pedal out the legs, bending one knee, keeping the opposite heel on the floor. And then try that on the other side. So you're just pedaling the legs, bending one knee and then the other. But we're not lifting the heels, just getting a nice stretch into the back of the legs. And then keeping both knees nice and soft, start to roll your way up to standing. Head comes up last, the arms just in front of you. And when you get to the top, let's take a nice deep breath in, sweeping the arms up. And as you exhale, bring the hands behind you, interlace your hands. Again, drop the knees, draw the knuckles down, open up through the chest. Oh, a nice stretch there, lovely. Releasing the arms, taking the arms up, let's take an inhale. And exhale, folding all the way back down. And this time we'll walk into a downward facing dog. So padding the hands forwards, keeping the hips nice and high. And again, we'll start that pedaling action with the legs, but this time we'll pick up the heels. So you're picking up one heel as you bend the knee, pushing the other heel towards the floor. So you're getting that nice stretch through the back of the legs. Lovely. And then finding your downward dog. Maybe there's a nice generous bend in your knees today as you stretch your ribcage back towards your thighs. And from your downward dog, let's ripple forwards to plank as you inhale. And as you exhale, drop the knees as you bring your chest down between your arms. Lovely. Squeeze those elbows towards the back of the mat and inhale into your little baby cobra, lifting up through the chest, and then exhale, ripple your way back down. Push your way back onto all fours. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Beautiful. And from your downward dog, let's bend that right knee and stretch the left heel all the way down towards the floor behind you. And floating the right leg up behind you, into that three-legged dog, let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, step or help that right foot forwards between your hands. Dropping the back knee, untucking the toes. Then come up into that low lunge, so sweeping the arms up. And dropping the shoulders as you lengthen out through the fingertips. Bringing the hands down towards your heart. Thumbs connecting to your breastbone, let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's twist to the right and just pause. Again, there's no hurry. Take an inhale there. And as you exhale, can you find a little bit more rotation? Pulling that right elbow back, keep the thumbs towards your heart. And then from there, hooking your left elbow over that right knee, pressing the palms together again, trying to keep your thumbs towards your heart center as you look over your top elbow, or keep the gaze down towards the floor today, whatever feels the most comfortable for your neck. That's it, lovely. Now keeping in that twist, we're going to come all the way back up. So we're coming back up through that twist. And then turning the chest to the center, sweeping the arms up, take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to the floor, tuck the back toes under and step back into your downward facing dog. From your downward dog, let's roll forwards to plank as you inhale. And as you exhale, knees down, chest down as you come down into the mat. Inhaling into your cobra, hugging those elbows into the side of the body. And exhale to roll down. Lovely. Pushing back up onto all fours. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward dog. Let's try that on the other side. So this time, left knee bends, Just pause there for a moment as you stretch that right heel towards the floor. And then floating the left leg up towards the sky. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, step or help it forwards. Give it a hand if it doesn't get there. And lower the back knee. I'm going to flatten my toes. And then reaching the arms up as you inhale. And as you exhale, can you drop the shoulders? A little tuck of the pelvis under, so we're not collapsing into the hips. So you're pushing the hips gently forwards. And then drawing the hands down to the heart. Lovely. Let's take that twist round to the left this time. So keeping the thumbs glued towards your heart. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, can you twist, twist, twist a little further? Drawing that left elbow back. And then from there, right elbow hooks over your left thigh. Pushing the palms together. Again, you may be looking up over that top elbow or keeping the gaze down towards the floor. Keep the thumbs towards your heart as you find that twist. And we're going to stay in that twist as you come all the way back up into that twist. Woo, wibble, wobble. And then turning the chest forwards to the top of the mat. Lost my balance there. Sweeping the arms up, take an inhale. And as you exhale, bringing both hands down, lifting the back knee and coming into your downward face. This time from your downward dog, start to walk your feet towards your hands, coming to the top of the mat. This time as we come into our forward fold, bend the knees, cradle the elbows with opposite hands, and just sway the body gently from side to side. Let everything drape down over the legs. Let's bring that softness there. Lovely. And then letting go of the elbows again, let those arms dangle as you roll your way up to stand. Lovely. Sweeping the arms up as you inhale. And exhale, bringing the hands behind you. So again, we can interlace them. Drop the knees, open up through the chest. Maybe you just want to stay there today. Or we start to drape the body down over those bent knees, maybe lifting the arms up and over if that feels good. Getting that stretch in the shoulders. Beautiful. And then bringing the hands down onto your low back. And then fingertips brush the floor before you sweep the arms all the way back up to stand. And exhale, bringing the hands down to the heart. Lovely. I'm just going to turn in the opposite direction so I can start to mirror you. Beautiful. So keeping the hands to the heart. Let's see if you can just bend your right knee. And just find that stability there so we're not collapsing into that left side. We're pulling up nice and tall. And then from there, hug that right knee up and in towards your chest if you can. Softening the shoulders, finding that sense of balance as you fix your gaze straight in front of you. And then coming into your tree pose. So maybe you can bring that right foot above the knee, you can bring it below the knee, you can even use the floor for support today. Wherever you are, bring the hands back to your heart, pulling up through that left leg as you stand up nice and tall. Let's take a little circle of the arms all the way up to the sky as you inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands all the way back down to the heart. This time taking the arms up, we're going to keep the arms up as you point that right knee forwards, taking an inhale. And as you exhale, coming into your warrior three. So reaching the arms back, reaching that leg all the way back behind you. And then taking a big step, so bringing that right foot down behind you. Coming into your high lunge this time as you sweep the arms up. So you're on the ball of the back foot. Soften the shoulders as you bend into that front knee. And then again, bringing both hands together at the heart. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're twisting to the left this time. Lovely, taking an inhale. And as you exhale, leaning forward, hooking right elbow over that left thigh. You can keep the hands to the heart, or you can separate the arms, reaching that left arm up and the right arm down towards the floor. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands back to the heart. Now see if you can come back into that high lunge. So reaching the arms up. Taking an inhale into that high lunge. As you exhale, dropping the back heel open as you come into your warrior two. So we've got the left knee bent and the right leg is straight. Lovely. So reaching forwards. As you inhale, we're going to straighten that front leg and reach the top arm all the way up and back. And as you exhale, bend the front knee, And right arm comes all the way up and over. We're going to move between those two. So as we inhale, both legs are straight as we wimble the arms up and over. And then exhale, bending the knee as you come forwards and down. Lovely. Let's do that one more time. So inhale. Beautiful. And exhale, coming all the way down. This time we'll come up, both legs straight, reaching that left arm back. Then we'll come into our triangle, so both legs stay straight. As you bring that left arm forwards and down, bringing it above or below the knee. And this right arm, we're going to take one circle, so circling it forwards just in front of the face. And then opening it up towards the ceiling, maybe turning your gaze up towards the sky. Lovely, lengthening out through the crown of the head so you reach that arm up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Let's come all the way back up. Bending that front knee, coming into your warrior two. Keeping the knee bent this time, we'll reach that left arm all the way up and back. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, a big tick-tock of both hands down, framing that front foot. Now option, downward dog or left leg to sky, come into your three-legged dog. As you inhale, ripple forwards to plank, lowering the foot as your shoulders come over your wrists. And as you exhale, coming down onto your belly, you can use your knees or keep the knees lifted this time. Maybe a cobra or maybe an upward dog. Remember, there's no hurry. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. Your downward dog, take a nice deep breath in. And a nice deep breath out. And as you look forwards between your hands, bend your knees. You've got the option, take an inhale. And as you exhale, walk, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhaling into your flat back. And exhale to fold over the legs. Let's rise on up, big breath in, reaching for the sky. And exhaling, bringing the hands down to your hearts. Lovely, sweeping those arms up, take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands behind you. Only this time as you interlace them, move the little fingers along one. So it's the awkward feeling now as you interlace the hands. Drop the knees, draw the knuckles down, broaden through the chest. Let's take an inhale. And exhale, bending forwards, coming over the legs. Maybe this time as you come into that forward fold, you can start to straighten your legs a little bit. See how that feels in the hamstrings, keeping the arms lifting up and over. And then releasing those arms. Fingertips brush the floor as you reach the arms up, take an inhale. And hands coming down to the heart. Lovely. Pausing there in that mountain, finding that gaze, that stability as we try that on the other side. So shifting the weight into your right foot. So again, we're not kind of shifting the hips over to the side. We're lifting up nice and tall as you bend that left knee. And maybe you stay there today. There's no rush. Or can you bring that knee up and into the chest? Not interlacing the hands and just cupping the front of the knee there. Lovely. Finding that stability. And finding your way to your tree pose. Maybe you bring the sole of the foot above the knee, below the knee, using the floor today, whatever works for you. Pulling that left knee open as you lift up nice and tall. And let's take one slow circle of the arms all the way out and up as you inhale. And then coming all the way down to the heart as you exhale. Beautiful. You're going to reach those arms up and keep them lifted. As you point that left knee forwards, we'll take an inhale. And exhale, stretching the leg back, reaching the arms back, taking that nice slow process into your warrior three, reaching out through the ball of the foot, reaching out through the fingertops. And then from there, it lands that left foot. So it's stepping towards the back of the mat, reaching the arms up into your high lunge. So softening the shoulders as you kick out through the heel. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, can you bend that front knee, sinking a little lower. Lovely. Hands coming down to the heart. You're going to take that little twist towards that right knee. So you're turning towards that bent knee, taking an inhale there. As you exhale, shifting the weight forwards, hooking your left elbow over that thigh. You can keep the palms pressing together, Or this time, maybe we're reaching the arms apart, stretching one arm up towards the sky. Now let's see if I can do this without feeling wibbly wobbly, hands coming back to the heart. And then from there, coming all the way back up into your high lunge, reaching the arms up. Woo! Taking an inhale. And as you exhale, dropping the back heel in. So this time the right knee is bent and we've got that left leg extended back behind you. Let's reach that right arm forwards and then straightening the right leg. We're going to reach that arm up and back, taking an inhale. And then bending that right knee, left arm comes up and over. Lovely. So between those two moves, no rush. Inhaling up. And exhaling as you bend the knee, taking the arm up and over. Lovely. Inhaling. And exhaling, coming down a little deeper into that front knee. And then keeping both legs straight, let's reach that right arm up and back. And then pushing the hips behind you as you come into your triangle pose. So right hand might come down above or below the knee, keeping the chest open. So one circle with this top arm, it circles in front of the face. And then comes all the way back up towards the ceiling. You can keep your gaze down or looking up towards your top thumb, lengthening out through the crown of the head there. Beautiful, lovely. Let's come all the way back up, bending that front knee. This time, right arm reaches up and back with a bent knee. We'll take an inhale. As you exhale, a big cartwheel of the hands down, pivoting on that back foot option, downward dog or right leg up to the sky. Three-legged dog, rolling forwards to plank as you inhale. Knees lifted or lowered, exhaling down onto your mat. Find your cobra or maybe your upward dog. And we meet in a downward facing dog. Beautiful. From your downward dog, let's drop down onto all fours. This time taking your knees nice and wide, big toes together. Into that child pose, reaching the arms out in front of you. If you're reaching the arms out in front of you, just make sure you're not dragging your shoulders up towards your ears. Maybe just add a little softness to your elbows there, taking them out to the outside edges of your mat, or even bending them really deeply so you can make a little pillow for your head to rest on. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths there. Lovely, everything soften. If you've got your hands underneath your head, reach them out in front of you. And start to walk your hands back towards your knees. And we'll point the knees forwards, bringing them hip width apart, coming back into your tabletop position. From your tabletop, again, we'll tuck the toes under, sink your hips back towards your heels, and then start to walk your hands back towards your knees. So maybe again you stay there with your fingertips on the floor, or again we pick up the knees. Again, you can keep the fingertips on the floor for balance, or again you can have that little play. Remember, if you wibble wobble, I certainly am, it's fine, pushing the knees away from you. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Let's see if we can add a little challenge here, shall we? A challenge for me as well as you. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, take a little twist round to the right, keeping the hands together at your heart. Woo! Inhale through center. And exhale, take that little twist round to the left. Woo! Come all the way back through the center. Bring the fingertips down to the floor. Push the hips up towards the sky. And then from there, keeping the heels on the floor, just bend one knee and then the other again, pedaling it out. Maybe the hamstrings feel a little bit more open now. Nice. And then bending both knees, roll your way up to stand. Nice. And from there, the feet a little bit wider apart. I'm just going to turn around to face you. So keeping the feet nice and wide, turning the toes out, so you're almost in a 10 to 2 position. So if squatting really doesn't work for you, come down to sit on your bottom. Bring the soles of the feet together. and just push the knees away from you as you come into a little butterfly pose as we come into a squat. So if you're with me coming into that squat, bringing the hands together at the heart, we'll see if we can slowly come all the way down into that squat. And when you get there, elbows just on the inside of the knees, so you're drawing your fingertips away from your face, pushing the knees gently away from you. So we're not collapsing here. There's a bit of energy up through the crown of the head. Let's take a moment in that challenging pose, just to see if we can find a little bit of stillness and softness. And if you want more, you're going to reach that right arm out to the side, bringing the hand down just in front of the right foot, and then reach the left arm up to the sky, getting that lovely stretch out through the chest. And then we'll swap sides, so reaching the left arm, so the left hand is just in front of the foot, and you reach the right arm all the way up to the sky. And then coming all the way down, lovely. Let's bring the hands down to the floor, pushing the hips up, turning the toes forwards and just toe heeling the feet until they're hip width apart. Then from there, padding the hands forwards all the way to the top of the mat, so we come to a plank pose. And from that plank pose, coming down onto your belly, you can use your knees or not. Making a little pillow once more for your head, stretching the legs back behind you. And then kicking the bottom with your right heel, bringing that heel in towards you. And maybe you just stay there. Or can you reach around with your right hand, taking hold around the front of your ankle or foot, and pulling that heel in towards your bottom. Pressing your hips in towards the floor, getting a nice stretch out through the right thigh there. So the knees are parallel, if not together. Nice steady breaths now. And then letting that leg go, bringing the hands under the head as we swap sides. So you can always just keep that left heel kicking in or reaching around with your left hand. Just giving a little pull in towards you, pushing the hips down into the floor, stretching out through the front of the thigh. And releasing. Bending both knees so the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. And just rock the feet from side to side like windshield wipers there, just to release the front of the hips. And the legs come back behind you, hands alongside the shoulders, pushing up to all fours. You can cross your ankles and just roll to seated from there, extending both legs out in front of you. Lovely. So from there, you're going to bend your knees and using your first two fingers, hook your first two fingers around your thumbs. Now really try and keep your belly close towards your thighs. You can either slide the heels away from you or shuffle your bottom back, or a combination of the two. So you come into your forward fold, really try and keep your belly on your thighs so you probably won't straighten the legs. And then just allow the body to come into that fold. Maybe after a few breaths, you can walk your hips back or slide those heels a little further away from you, but really try and keep your belly over your thighs there, softening into that forward fold. Slowing everything down now. And letting go of the big toe, rolling your way all the way up. Bringing the right knee up and in towards the chest. With the foot on the floor, just interlace your hands around the knee and see if you can lengthen up through the crown of the head. And then crossing the foot over to the other side. And use your left hand or elbow to hug the knee in. Take a big circle with that right arm until your fingertips can reach the floor behind you, coming into that twist. As you look over your back shoulder again, maybe just closing down the eyes here for a moment. slowly coming back through center. And we'll swap legs. So right leg is in front of you, left knee, bring it in. And again, there's no hurry as you interlace your hands. Just lifting nice and up, lifting up nice and tall. And then crossing left foot over that right thigh. So this time it's your right hand or elbow that hugs the knee in. And it's the left arm that takes a big circle back behind you, finding the floor, if you can, or just resting the hand on your back. As you take that twist to the left now. And then coming all the way back through center. Taking the legs out in front of you, this time taking them a little wider apart, so towards the outside edges of your mat. Reaching the arms up, take an inhale. And as you exhale, take a little forward fold there, so allow the body just to fold down between the legs. There's a real softness there, the feet are wider apart. The hands are just resting on the floor, the back is rounding down. So it's a very gentle forward fold. And then rolling your way up through the spine. Now either repeating that or again, first two fingers hook your big toes. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, it's like you want to pull your chest forwards. Pulling your chest forwards towards the top of the mat. A bit more active. So the hands are pulling against the legs to bring the chest forward. Slightly stretch out through the low back, or you can just release the hands to the floor and take that more restorative forward fold. Wherever we are, let's slowly release, bending both knees and giving them a nice hug, rounding the back. And then from there, keeping the feet on the floor, just coming down onto your back, shuffling your feet in towards your bottom, hip width apart, arms down by the side. Let's push the hips up to the sky, coming into your shoulder bridge. This time, maybe you can shuffle your shoulder blades underneath you so you can interlace your hands, pushing the hips up as you press the little finger edge of your hand down towards the floor. Pushing those hips up towards the ceiling, the chin tucking down towards the chest. And then releasing the arms, rising up onto the balls of the feet. And you ripple your way down, keeping those heels lifted. And when the hips touch the floor, gathering those knees in towards the chest. Having a little rock from side to side. And then bringing the knees to the chest, parting the knees. One hand on each knee, just takes the knees wide, the big toes stay touching. And slide the hands down towards the tops of your ankles. And then press the heels down towards your bottom and get that sense of releasing the lower back. It's like you want to press your lower back in towards the mat. You can stay there or join me in a happy baby. You can hold on around the outside or inside edges of your feet, or if you can't quite get there today, you can hold around the back of your calves or your thighs. If you've got your feet, you're bringing your knees down towards your armpits, but we're trying to push your lower back in towards the floor as you stretch out through the hips. Slowly releasing, bringing those knees back in towards the chest. As you hug the knees in again, lifting those up towards knees, coming into that tight, tight little ball, shoulders away from the ears. And then lower the head, lower the shoulders, rolling the head from side to side. And coming to stillness, letting the feet fall to the floor. Again, you can walk them nice and wide apart, let your inner knees rest against each other, coming into that lovely named pose of constructive rest, or stretching both legs out in front of you. I'm just going to come up so I can talk to you. Just taking a moment to find a nice, comfortable position to finish off in a moment of stillness. Milu's come to join us for the best bit, for a moment of relaxation. So reminding ourselves as we head forwards into this new week, new month, new year, there's no need to hurry, no need to sparkle, no need to be anybody but oneself. Allowing that sense of slowness and calmness to permeate the rest of your morning, maybe the rest of the day, maybe even carrying it forwards into the week ahead. No need to hurry. So take a moment in Shavasana. Just letting go of all the busyness the last few weeks. So we can begin this new year softly and gently. He's doing his purring for you. He's ready to start this new year softly. The sense of haste or speed. It's beginning to deepen and lengthen the breath now. And no rush, just start to bring some gentle movement back into your body when you're ready. Maybe your fingers, your toes, having a little wiggle, maybe that roll across the back of the head. And then maybe having a lovely full body stretch to close your practice today, reaching the arms back and the legs out in front of you. Have a little wiggle into the body. Enjoying that sense of space before you bring the knees in towards your chest. Rocking or rolling to lie on one side and coming up to a comfortable seated position. From that seated position, let's bring the hands together at the heart, bowing the chin towards your fingertips, letting the shoulders drop away from the ears. Something I read amongst all of this new year, new you stuff. I read this and I thought it was lovely. Milu wouldn't lie all over it for me. Get off, Milu. Let's create resolutions to celebrate who we are, not punish us for what we are not. I thought that was lovely. Let's take a nice circle of the arms all the way out and up, taking a breath in and drawing that resolution down to our hearts. We're already enough. And now today, thank you, thank you. Milu and me. Oh, thank you, thank you. There he is, look. Rolling around on the floor.